They make more money off of a 3-hour show than they do off of a 2-hour show. USA Network gets more off of a 3-hour show than it does off of a 2-hour show. I knew this was not going to happen, and I may have to eat crow if it ultimately does happen this year, but I already see the writing on the wall that this is going to be something that's going to be extended. It is so difficult, Zach, to put the toothpaste back into the tube.
What's going on, everybody? The Takedown on SI Discussions. I'm Zack Heydorn. That is Rick Ucchino. Rick, dude, you're our SmackDown guy over at the Takedown on SI, and
sure am.
You are
Friday.
If you were hanging on to the thread of hope that maybe SmackDown would be going to 2 hours at some point, it doesn't look like it's going that way. And news coming out of WrestleVotes says that for the foreseeable future, SmackDown is going to remain 3 hours on the USA Network. This countering a previous story that said it's going to be going back to 2 hours sometime in June from PW Insider. It doesn't look like it's going that way, dude. You need to carve out 3 hours of your Friday more often now.
No, it just means we need to hire somebody else who can
there we go.
Sub in, for me every now and again. So like this thing, this was supposedly always going to be the plan, that they would do the 6 month stretch with SmackDown on the USA Network at 3 hours, kind of like it was part of that 3 month extension for Raw to stay on the USA Network through the end of last year before they moved on to Netflix. So they gave SmackDown an extra hour of programming and said at some point down the line, 6 months later on in the year, it'll switch back to 2. And my initial reaction to all of this, even after Triple H himself confirmed that, my initial reaction was, ain't no way in hell on God's green earth is this show going back to 2 hours. No way. Not happening. I had people looking at me like SP3 on our own staff was like, calm down. It's going back. I'm like, no, it's not going back. Do you not realize how advertising and revenue works? They make more money off of a 3-hour show than they do off of a 2-hour show. USA Network gets more off of a 3-hour show than it does off of a 2-hour show. I knew this was not going to happen, and I may have to eat crow if it ultimately does happen this year, but I already see the writing on the wall that this is going to be something that's going to be extended. It is so difficult, Zach, to put the toothpaste back into the tube. Dude. And here's the thing. As much as I actively hate staying up until 11 o'clock on a Friday night, when most Fridays I start the shoot job at like 4 a.m. I hate it. The show needs to be more than 2 hours. I hate to say it. It really does, though. I wish we could find that 2.5 hour sweet spot that Netflix allots for Monday Night Raw, because that really is for like the pacing of the show to get everybody involved that needs to be involved. It seems like 2.5 hours is perfect. 2 hours is not enough. It's like the three little bears. Like 2 hours is not enough. 3 hours is too much. Man, that 2.5, perfect. That's what SmackDown needs to be, is 2.5. But I'll take the 3 hours if it means more screen time, more opportunities for the people who are on that roster and the new people who are coming up to the roster.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not getting a 2.5 hour program on USA Network. Like that usually just doesn't work like that. So that's where Netflix is unique, because it kind of has, there's no rules as far as that goes, but there is advertising rules. And I don't know, man, like if I'm running a company, like I think a 2 hour show is tighter and better to watch for me personally. Now that's me not invested. However, dude, if you're a business person and you're shopping around these products that you have Raw, you have SmackDown, they account for a large portion of the company revenue are these licensing deals and these TV deals. It's like once you take that third hour, it's like the gateway drug. It's like you don't go back after that, because everybody's used to that money now. Everybody's used to that revenue. Everybody's used to what that means, whether it's the company or whether it's the television network. It's baked into everything. So I'm not surprised to hear this news either. And they just now need to adjust and load that roster up so we can accommodate a 3-hour show properly.
Well, and like, here's the thing. So I was genuinely concerned because I think, it did take them a while to figure out how they needed to fill and adjust a 3-hour show for SmackDown, which is where honestly the transfer window, right, came into play, because when they extended to a 3-hour show, they had a roster that was built for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
When you can load up 3 or 4 segments with the bloodline, okay, that'll help fill you a little bit, but you can't do that forever, right? Roman's going to go away eventually, and he has, but like, we have seen what that has meant for the men's tag team division on SmackDown, which has absolutely been cooking and is now apparently going to be heated up even further with the addition of the Wyatt Six, which is now back into the fold after this past Friday. They got interjected in the main event, which was the tag team title match between the Street Profits and Fraxium. Fraxium's been a great addition on the Friday Night SmackDown tag team division as well. So plenty of time to get all of those teams in the mix. And it seems as though we're going to continue to add to the women's roster here, which they had trimmed down. And this is another thing that we had discussed, right? We did the whole episode earlier on the releases and what the hell WWE was doing with its women's tag team division. I still don't know what it's doing with its women's tag team division right now. They haven't done a damn thing that we laid out. It looked like maybe they were going to with Roxanne and Julia, and then that lasted all of a night before that they were
one
damn night. It's like they watched the episode, they went, "That's a great idea." Oh, but screw you, man. We're not doing that. So yeah, I still have questions about what they're doing. Yeah. But when they trimmed the women's roster as much as they did, you just had a feeling that there were reinforcements that were going to be coming, and we've already seen that with Julia. We've already seen that with Roxanne over on Monday night. Alexa Bliss is back into the fold. There may be other free agents who are coming in, and as we found out this week, another report from Corey Hayes from Body Slam, it appears there's some others who are going to be coming up from NXT, especially after one of the most shocking title changes I think I have ever seen in NXT history, in all honesty.
It was wonderful. We'll get to that in a quick second. This is the discussions on the Takedown on SI. Guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you can leave a comment, we'd love that too. It helps us out, helps us grow, helps us reach new eyes. So
those thumbs ups really, really help, by the way. So just go ahead.
They do.
Click. You're on the video anyway.
It's easy. You're right here, guys. You're right here. So you mentioned it. Big news. Stephanie Vaquer loses the NXT Women's Championship to JC Jane on a televised episode of NXT.
2 days after a PLE.
2 days after a PLE. And obviously the story that you're referencing is that Stephanie Vaquer is on her way to the main roster. Jordynne Grace on her way to the main roster too. So 2 brand new call-ups. And JC Jane is now the NXT Women's Champion. 2 things that I want to bring up about this. Number one, I think it was sold so perfectly by the supporting cast of characters around the NXT broadcast. JC Jane, I thought when that 3 count hit, how you can get some people that are champion for the first time and they tear up and they kind of break character and and it's nice. It's a nice moment, but it's that's just real you happy that you won the championship. JC Jane had the best facial expression on her face that was just she was surprised, but not surprised, but also just kind of arrogantly taunting the crowd that this happened, all with just one look. And I thought it was just amazing. And then on commentary, you've got them essentially speechless. The ring announcer guys
Mike Rum was great.
Mike Rum was
great, spectacular in this moment.
It was so good, and I thought
he looked dumbfounded. He was just did that? Honestly, for a second, I'm like, Did somebody F up?
Was it an Yes. Was it an accident? Yeah. Yep.
Was this supposed to happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the circumstances around it are extraordinarily weird, but everything is done, at least we believe, for a reason. And I don't think, the news or the reports, and again, this came from Corey Hayes of Body Slam. He put it out on X. No timeline on this, but it looks like Stephanie is earmarked for Raw. Jordynne Grace is earmarked for SmackDown. That news should not be a surprise to anybody. Both of those women, the second they signed with WWE, should have been fast tracked to the main roster. Like Stephanie, it was just basically getting her ready for American TV wrestling, and Jordynne already on a main roster contract. They just didn't want to, introduce her in the middle of WrestleMania season.
Yeah, they didn't have anything for
plans. Yeah. But now, wide open, bring them up. Let's go.
Bring them up.
We're already going to get Stephanie at Worlds Collide. She's going to be in the was that a tag team match that they're throwing out there? She's teaming with Lola Vice against some of the girls from AAA. So I don't know.
I've been just convinced that, like, and again, I don't have like numbers in front of me, but they coming out of WrestleMania weekend, they had Stephanie on everything, man. She was on Raw and like 2 weeks in a row, good reactions to great reactions. And then obviously that filters down to NXT.
She was in the Royal Rumble too this year.
In the Royal Rumble. And NXT with her, like, as a lead face of that company, has done well from a viewership perspective. Like, it's done strong, with her on top. So this, I'm glad to see her go up, and man, she freshens up. Her and Jordynne Grace freshen up the division even more than Julia did. Now you have Roxanne there. Then you have all the regulars. You've got Becky. You've got Rhea. You've got Io. Like, it's
Kairi Sane is back wrestling.
Kairi Sane is back. Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches, man. It's an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, they have no reason whatsoever to not have that women's division absolutely cooking. I kind of feel the same way. I feel the same way, honestly, over in AEW after, Tekla debuted on Dynamite this week, which I was very, very happy to see, because one of my concerns, I was really hoping that Jamie Hayter would win the women's Owen Hart Sunday at Double or Nothing. She didn't. And I'm like, what do they got for her? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
That works.
They got something for her. They got a program for her. That's great, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, God, they have an embarrassment of riches in their women's division right now, and they're putting their top two stars now in Toni Storm and Mercedes, their top two champions, in one match at their biggest show of the year. So I'm like, okay, please, let's find a way to get some of these other ladies involved in that show at All In. I do have one big concern. What are we doing with Athena? Why is she not being more heavily involved in AEW? I'm starting to grow impatient there, Zach. I'm starting to get very, very impatient, because I wanted Mercedes Athena 2 in Texas for the TBS title. We ain't getting that now.
We're not getting that, but I can't tell you. I don't know. It's not like Ring of Honor is just this product that's on fire that you need her for, right? Like, oh, we got to keep that fire going, like, so we need to put her there. It's like, it's anything but that. You're wasting. It's like a star pitcher wasting his arm in the minor leagues for no reason. Yeah. It's just like, just bring her up, do it. Come on, what are we waiting for here?
I mean, she is arguably, and I mean arguably. Again, it's difficult for me to sit here and try to put a depth chart together, because the roster is so stacked where it is right now. Just from an in-ring standpoint, I would put her top 3 in the entire company. I mean, from a star power standpoint, I would probably put her in top 3. It would be close. But she's right there. If you put her on television every single week, she would be right there with Mercedes and Toni Storm.
Yeah, the only reason she's not is because they don't put her there. That's the only reason. It's like,
and I don't know why. And she'll try to spin it. She has spun it. She did an interview with Instinct Culture, Denise Salcedo, and she was like, I got my own show. I got this championship, and this is, they built this whole thing around me. And I'm like, okay, it's a great argument.
Yeah.
How many people are watching Ring of Honor?
Right. right. That's the thing.
You're doing arguably your best work of your career right now for a minuscule audience of what you could be doing the best work of your career for. And I don't know what the hold up is. They keep both Tony Khan and Athena keep saying, be patient, be patient, be patient, be patient. My patience is running thin.
Yeah. All right. Last question.
Yes.
JC Jane is the NXT Women's Champion.
Yes.
What do you make of that choice?
I genuinely don't know, because I think JC Jane's been ready for a main roster call up for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
For a while now. So I would have had her earmarked to be coming up at some point this year, but I will say she is a 4-year veteran now of NXT. She is somebody, if you are losing Stephanie and Jordynne after you just lost Julia and Roxanne, you are clean sweep taking all of your biggest stars from the NXT women's roster and moving them up to the main roster.
Yeah.
So they've already made room for them on the main roster. They did their roster cuts. They're supplementing with the new younger talent. It sucks for the people who were let go, but I mean, you see this done, as we talked about. NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, they all do it. Every major sports league does it. So this is the talent that they have brought up to supplement the talent that they let go of earlier this year and earlier last year. They have a ton of girls that are down in NXT. They need somebody there who is kind of the elder statesman now at this point. This would have been, this would have been a great spot for Cora Jade. Honestly,
yeah.
It might, like, that's still the one that just confuses the heck out of me.
Yeah.
That you let Cora Jade go, where she could be in this spot, and then you could bring JC Jade up to the main roster. So I don't know, but you need somebody there who can kind of carry the mantle until, Kalani Jordynne works her way up as like a main event caliber contender, and some of the other ladies can do the same. They're opening up space for more people to come in and shine, because God knows they have a sea of talent in NXT that's not even on television yet. Right. So you got an LFG winner that they're going to be able to throw right in there now. So, I kind of get it. Putting it on somebody who can kind of carry it and has been a staple on the brand for a long time. And honestly, the way she's worked and presented herself, she's been great. Like all the way back to the days when, because she first showed up, she was with Mandy, right? Like,
yeah, she was in Toxic Attraction. Yeah.
So Toxic Attraction, Fatal Influence, whatever it's been. She's done great work. She deserves it. She's earned it. And I'm happy she got it.
I actually really like the move, especially when you're going to gut the top of that roster, like the way that they did, and that happens. That's the whole point. That's the point of the NXT being what it is.
At some point, they graduate. Yes,
yeah, you graduate up. But she was like such a surprise that it made that whole angle at the end work. Like I don't know if it works as well without, because she was such a surprise winner that it makes everything like click. But then like the brand is gonna need like that next level. The women that you mentioned, Kalani Jordynne, Sol Ruca, Zaria, like all of them are going to have to like level up. And now they have an opportunity to do that. They all can chase JC. I think it's like, if we were talking about this as like a main roster thing, you'd obviously analyze this differently. But for a developmental like move, I thought it was like a home run pick and a good way to kind of shock the system a little bit whilst it's getting gutted. So I'm firmly behind seeing how this goes.
Yeah. And like, yeah, you judge things on the main roster differently because there's nowhere to graduate once you get up to the right. So that's and that's part of the discourse with some fans where it's like, oh my gosh, Charlotte and Becky, they've been around forever, they've been in the title picture forever, we get it, just go away. And it's like they're still in their prime. They're still doing some of the best work of their career. They're not just going to go away.
They're not going away. Yeah.
No, they're not going away. Bianca Belair is not going away. Rhea Ripley is not going away. Asuka's going to come back. She's not going to go away. Alexa Bliss has been around on the main roster since what, 2016?
Yeah, almost
2016?
a decade. Yeah.
Closing in on a decade now.
That's messed up. up.
And it's been since forever since she was in the world title picture. And I guarantee you, if she wins Money in the Bank and she cashes it in on Tiffany Stratton, who, by the way, ain't going anywhere, people are going to get mad. People are going to get mad that they have put Alexa Bliss, who's been around forever, and anointed her as the WWE Women's Champion. Like, it's a good thing to have these veterans. It's a good problem to have this kind of depth, and they do have a lot of star power on both SmackDown and Raw, which, again, that's why I'm all for a 3-hour SmackDown. I won't be saying that come 10:30 this Friday when I'm typing out the results, though.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a full circle show. So we're going to end right damn there. Thanks so much for joining us.
I know what I'm doing.
It's like you work in broadcasting or something. Thanks everybody for joining us once again. If you can, subscribe to the channel. We got lots of great stuff.
We're closing in on 1,000.
1,000. You should be trying to be the 1,000. So hit subscribe, like the video, comment if you are so willing. We certainly appreciate it. And we'll be back next week right here in Discussions on the Takedown NSI. For Rick, I'm Zach. See ya.
Take care, everybody.